Exemptions to fair housing. Laws for sale. By owner, occurred rental commercial, industrial property, private clubs, religious organizations, senior communities. FSBO or owner-occupied rental is an exemption of FFH laws. This includes the sale or rental of single-family housing if neither a broker nor discriminatory advertising is used. This exemption also includes the rental of rooms or units in owner-occupied multiple dwelling for 2 to 4 families, if discriminatory advertising is not used. Private clubs are exempt to the FFH laws. It is permissible to restrict the lodgings owned or operated by a private club for other than a commercial purpose for rental or occupancy by its own members. Religious organizations are also an exemption to FFH laws. The sale, rental, or occupancy of dwellings owned and operated by a religious organization for other than commercial purposes to persons of the same religion is acceptable. The religious organization can give preference to its members. Another exemption to FFH laws is senior communities. Housing intended for and solely occupied by persons 62 years of age and older. Housing intended and operated for occupancy by at least one person 55 years of age or older per unit in at least 80% of the units. Housing provided under any state or federal program that the Secretary of HUD has determined is specifically designed and operated to assist elderly persons. The Housing for Older Persons. Exemption. The Fair Housing Act specifically exempts some senior housing facilities and communities from liability for familial status discrimination. Exempt senior housing facilities or communities can lawfully refuse to sell or rent dwellings to families with minor children, or may impose different terms and conditions of residency. In order to qualify for the Housing for Older Persons exemption, a facility or community must prove that its housing is provided under any state or federal program that HUD has determined to be specifically designed and operated to assist elderly persons as defined in the state or federal program, or intended for and solely occupied by persons 62 years of age or older, or intended and operated for occupancy by persons 55 years of age or older. In order to qualify for the 55 or older housing exemption, a facility or community must satisfy each of the following requirements. At least 80% of the occupied units must have at least one occupant who is 55 years of age or older, and the facility or community must publish and adhere to policies and procedures that demonstrate the intent to operate as 55 or older housing. The facility or community must comply with HUD's regulatory requirements for age verification of residents by reliable surveys and affidavits. The Housing for Older Persons exemption does not protect senior housing facilities or communities from liability for housing discrimination based on race, color, religion, gender, disability, or national origin. Further, 55 or older housing facilities or communities that do permit residency by families with minor children cannot lawfully segregate such families in a particular section, building, or portion of a building. In addition, it is illegal for anyone to threaten, coerce, intimidate, or interfere with anyone exercising a fair housing right or assisting others who exercise that right. Make, print, or publish any statement in connection with the sale or rental of a dwelling that indicates a preference, limitation, or discrimination based on race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin. This prohibition against discriminatory advertising applies to single-family and owner-occupied housing that is otherwise exempt from the Fair Housing Act. Refuse to provide homeowners insurance coverage for a dwelling because of the race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin of the owner and/or occupants of a dwelling. Discriminate in the terms or conditions of homeowners insurance coverage because of the race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin of the owner and/or occupants of a dwelling. Refuse to provide homeowners insurance, or imposing less favorable terms or conditions of coverage because of the predominant race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin of the residents of the neighborhood in which a dwelling is located. Redlining. Refuse to provide available information on the full range of homeowners insurance coverage options available because of the race, etc. of the owner and/or occupants of a dwelling. Make, print, or publish any statement in connection with the provision of homeowners insurance coverage that indicates a preference, limitation, or discrimination based on race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin.